Welcome to our mathcast on probability and odds. Our goal is to help you better understand the concept at hand when you need it and at your own pace. We hope you enjoyed this mathcast on probability and odds.
First, we are going to explain what probability is. Probability is the chance of how likely an event will happen compared to the total number of possibilities. An event is the set of outcomes. There are two types of probability, experimental and theoretical probability. Experimental shows the likelihood of an event happening and showing what really does happen. Theoretical is making assumptions of what should happen in the experiment.
So now we are going to give you an example of experimental probability. Find the probability of this problem. An experiment consists of rolling a dice 200 times. It was found that it landed on a 4 40 times. What is the probability of the die landing on a 4? First, we need to set up our fraction. The denominator is the total. The total in this experiment is 200 because that is the amount of times the die was rolled overall. The numerator is the amount of times 4 occurred out of the 200 rolls. 40 becomes our numerator and our fraction becomes 40 over 200. We still have to simplify the fraction. It becomes 420 and then 1/5. We cannot simplify that any further, so our final answer is 1/5. This is experimental probability because after doing an experiment, you are finding the probability of an event happening based on the results. You are finding the probability of what actually happens.
Now we will give you an example of theoretical probability. An experiment consists of rolling a fair die. Fair means that all outcomes are equally likely. What is the probability of rolling a 4? Well, a die has 6 outcomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So your total, which is the denominator, is 6. Rolling a 4 is one of the 6 outcomes, so 1 will be your numerator. Your final fraction is 1/6. This is theoretical probability because in theory, the chances of getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on a die should be equally likely. You are finding the probability of what should happen.
Next, we are going to explain odds. Odds is the probability or chance of something happening or not happening. The odds in favor show the favorable outcome of an event happening. The odds against show the chance of the event not happening. The way to show odds is taking the total and dividing them up into odds in favor or odds against. So if you're showing odds in favor, you put the odds in favor, a colon, and the odds against. You can also show odds against by putting odds against first, a colon, and then the odds in favor. Odds is like probability, but still a bit different. Probability shows the chance of an event happening out of the total. Odds show the chances of an event happening compared to the chances against one happening.
Now we will do an example using odds. Of the 240 people at the event, 7 will win a prize. What are the odds in favor of winning a prize? What are the odds against? Now, a way to think of this problem and using odds is to think how many people will go home with the prize. This number represents odds in favor, which is this problem is 7. Next, ask yourself how many people will go home without a prize. The answer is not 240 because that is the total number of people at the event. The answer is 233 because they will not have a prize, and this is odds against. In the last slide, we showed how to show odds with a colon. So our answer for odds in favor is 7 against 233. For odds against, it is the opposite, 203 against 7.
Finally, we are going to compare odds and probability in a story problem. The problem is, you roll a number cube that has 6 sides. Find the probability and odds in favor of rolling a 3. Let's start with probability. Remember that probability is the chances of an event happening compared to the total. The total possible events on a die are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3 is one of those 6 options, so our answer for probability is 1/6. Now, let's do odds. Remember that odds compares the odds in favor to the odds against. First, ask yourself, out of those 6 numbers, how many of them are 3? This number is odds in favor, which is 1. Now ask, how many of those 6 numbers are not 3? This number is odds against, which is 5. So your final answer for odds is 1/5. As you can see, probability and odds are similar in many ways. They show the chances of an event happening. But probability is comparing this to the total, and odds is comparing this to the chance of the event not happening. But make sure you are careful and are able to tell the difference between odds and probability.
Thank you for listening to this mathcast on probability and odds. Please feel free to listen and learn from other mathcasts on this channel.